This is the Evening News, so Wednesday, September 10, 2014. I'm Michael Young. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight, government dismisses call to set date for local government elections. Works on specialty hospital halted as government terminates contractors' services. Family in mourning after Kerosene stove burn victim succumbs. AFC denies having race rotation policy. Amerindian communities to benefit from ADF funds. And GPSU cries foul over government's bullyism on proposed wage increases for public servants, threatens industrial action. It's now time for the news in detail. Head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, has dismissed warnings of international action by the opposition if a date for local government elections is not named by September 15. Details in this report.
What does the leader of the opposition really want? Because like you, we know that he knows what we know. Everybody knows that. So he can't call for the impossible. The Messiah ain't coming tomorrow. So why would he ask the President Ramatar to do the impossible? There's a reason. We need to inquire what that reason or reasons are.
That was head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, as he questioned what may be the motives behind leader of the opposition David Granger's ultimatum for local government polls. Dr. Luncheon pointed out that seemingly there is more to the issue than what the party is revealing.
There are some strongly held views that there is a little bit more in the Martyr than the Pestle. There was not necessarily a view that it was an ultimatum. I've heard it described as an ultimatum. Some, and I would go along with that sense, that it was more of political strategy. And you probably got to go into the Martyr to find out who else with you other than the Pestle.
The Cabinet Secretary said President Donald Ramatar will be looking to engage the opposition to seek more clarity on the issue.
I suppose you will soon be hearing of an effort, an attempt by the governing party, definitely by the administration, to have this kind of engagement with Mr. Granger to bring clarity to what he actually, in his very brief letter, has been or is seeking to have done, and for what most of us think is really what is in the Martyr other than the Pestle. What is he really getting at?
On Tuesday, Granger issued the government with a September 15 ultimatum to name a date for local government elections. This comes even after the AFC submitted a motion of no confidence against the administration.
Meanwhile, President Donald Ramatar has said that opposition leader David Granger is quite aware of government's concerns over local government election, describing the opposition's recent move as pushing an open door. Alexis Rodney has details.
Ramatar was at the time responding to the content of a letter sent to him yesterday by opposition leader David Granger, giving the head of state until Monday to announce a date for the holding of local government elections. Speaking to the Evening News today, Ramatar said that the opposition leader is aware of government's commitment to local government election. He noted too that there are some specific areas that need to be examined before he gives a response. In a letter addressed to President Donald Ramatar, leader of the Partnership for National Unity David Granger, said the government had failed to keep its promise with regards to the holding of local government elections. According to Granger, it was agreed that the elections, which have not been held since 1994, will have been held on or before August 1, 2014. The letter reminded the head of state that local government is in fact a vital aspect of democracy. Further, he stated that government had promised in the PPPC's manifesto that elections would have been held within 1 year of the 2011 general elections. The opposition has then given the party on or before Monday, September 15, to announce the date for local government elections to be held across the country. For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Thanks, Alexis. Our Partnership for National Unity today said it remains committed to supporting the no-confidence motion tabled in Parliament against the ruling Donald Ramotar administration. The party said that its calls for President Donald Ramotar to set a date for local government elections or face the legal action does not contradict with its expressed support for the motion. It argued that the calls are complementary of its stated position regarding local democracy and respect for the Constitution of Guyana. Days after a cane harvester sustained second-degree burns to his body after a kerosene stove exploded on him while preparing meals, he succumbed to his injuries at the Georgetown Public Hospital on Tuesday. Dead is Emmanuel Ramdu, 34 of Potentia Estate Reserve, West Bank, Demerara, who was admitted a patient at the burns unit of the Georgetown Public Hospital on Sunday in a critical state. His relatives were told by medical officials that he had a 50-50 chance in surviving due to the extent of his injuries. His mother, Geeta Lakeram, said her son took his last breath at about 7 hours on Tuesday morning, moments after she visited him in hospital. She recalled going for the 6 p.m. visit, and as she waited in the compound of the facility with other relatives, the doctors informed her of his demise. She said that while they were advised to brace themselves for the worst, she was still fearful of losing her son so early in his life. Lakeram admitted that her son was in a tremendous pain and state, adding that God knows best. She said that his loss is a major blow, especially to his 2 daughters who lived with him. The Alliance for Change says that it does not have a policy based on ethnic rotation for the selection of its presidential and prime ministerial candidates. Hear more details in this report.
Alliance for Change's General Secretary David Patterson has denied that the party has previously established an ethnic rotation system for the selection of its presidential and prime ministerial candidates for elections. Previously, the party had committed to a rotation of the leadership based on ethnicity, persons familiar with the setup of the AFC had said. Raphael Trotman was selected for the party's first shot at presidency, and then Ramjatan. It was expected that at the upcoming Congress, the party will have chosen someone based on the rotating ethnicity leadership concept, but Patterson said that this was not the case. He told this newscast that ethnic rotation was never one of the values of AFC and will never be. Ramjatan had publicly endorsed Moses Nagamotu and Nigel Hughes as the party's presidential and prime ministerial candidates.
President Donald Ramotar today pledged his government's support towards the reconstruction of the Umana Yana, which was destroyed by fire on Tuesday.
President Donald Ramotar has said that Umana Yana will be rebuilt as soon as is humanly possible. Ramotar explained that initial bids and estimates will have to be sought as the government forges ahead to restore the edifice of the historic Benab. Meanwhile, Cabinet Secretary Dr. Roger Luncheon has said that the fires cast a shadow on Heritage Month celebrations.
Well, it contributes to a sense, there's a spate of fires, all of them been laid at the feet of GPL. GPL, it ain't got an F, but I suppose somewhere in the G and the P and the L are F there. Yeah, somewhere. But that was the first concern, this is another one of those fires of uncertain origin that we end up thinking or claiming it's electrical in origin. But, it really has put a shadow on the events that were tabled for that. Like yesterday, we were supposed to be honoring Stephen Campbell at the location. So, it certainly detracted from the state's activity.
On Tuesday afternoon, a fire started at a high street structure and quickly engulfed the building, billows of smoke into the atmosphere. decades of history and culture went up in flames as part of the historic Benhab was reduced to ashes and debris. For the evening news, Juma Paul.
If you have a news tip or news story you would like our news team to follow, message or WhatsApp us and telephone numbers 680-9630, 603-117 or 617-2867. You can also call us at our office and telephone numbers 231-0382, 226-2102, 223-7230-21. Join us after these messages for more news. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with the evening news. Health Minister Barry Ramsaran today confirmed that the government of Guyana has terminated the services of Syrenga Engineering Company, which now halts all work on the Hallmark Specialty Hospital project. Bisham Mohammed reports.
The ministry has decided to terminate the contract and to do certain other things. For example, we will be pursuing legal or taking legal recourse to recover or to any damages, any outstanding obligations that the contractor has as per contract. At the same time, we will be making every effort to ensure that a specialty hospital is constructed.
That was Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsaran at a specially convened press conference to announce the termination of the services of Syrenga Engineering Corporation. The company's contract was terminated after several deficiencies were observed by the Health Ministry a few months ago. This led to a halt in construction and subsequently halt in the release of funds. Attorney General Anil Nandlal, who is handling the legal aspects of the proceedings, explained how Syrenga Engineering was awarded the contract to construct the Hallmark Specialty Hospital.
As you know, from the inception, Indian Exim Bank, as part of its conditionalities, would have shortlisted a number of contractors who were required to submit bids. These bids were examined by our technical personnel within the government, and that process produced Syrenga Engineering Company Limited as the most suitable contractor for this job. Subsequently, it was realized that the work was not proceeding in the manner contemplated by the contract. As you are aware, the contract is supervised by engineers on behalf of the government and by consultant firms. They, over the years, or since the inception, identified technical deficiencies.
He explained that the contractor would have had a security bond under the CARICOM Insurance Company, which expired in March 2014, which meant another bond had to be presented before additional monies were released. It was during this time the deficiencies were unearthed.
The contract requires documents to be provided by the contractor to satisfy these contractual requirements. The documents that were produced when they were examined did not withstand scrutiny. In fact, the performance security document as well as the advance payment document emanated from a company in Trinidad and Tobago. When this document was produced to the Attorney General Chambers for its examination, we requested some form of authentication for this company in terms of its existence and its standing within the commercial realm of Trinidad and Tobago. As a result of that request, another document was produced, emanating this time, or purporting to emanate, from the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. When that document was examined, I discovered that there was what purports to be a notary public seal
Upon realizing that a seal was attached as a form of notarization, speculations arose, hence a probe was launched.
Contact was made with the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, who confirmed first by telephone and subsequently in writing, firstly that document, which purported to come from the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, did not come from the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. It was purportedly signed by a D. Singh. We were informed that there is no such person in that capacity at the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, and further that the Worldwide Bankers Limited is not a registered insurance company under the Insurance Act of Trinidad and Tobago.
To date, in excess of $4 million have been paid to Syringa Engineering Corporation, which is equivalent to 23% of the total cost of the project. The question now remains if government can recover the portion of monies that were paid to the contracting company out of India. Bisham Mohammed, at Evening News.
President of the Ghana Public Service Union, Patrick Yard, condemned government's alleged callousness in addressing the issues affecting members within the public sector. More details from Alexis Rodney.
Yard at the institution's statutory meeting earlier today declared that if government fails to come up to its end of the bargain, serious consequences will follow. He noted that since May of last year, the GPSU had submitted proposals to the Public Service Ministry for wages, salaries, and allowances for the period 2013-2015. While promises have been made by government to hold discussions, nothing has yet been materialized.
You got to be inquiring what's going on, and there's no respect being shown to give you an explanation as to what may be the obstacles in coming and discuss a matter of this nature that affect the well-being of people, they affect the well-being of workers, that affect the livelihood of workers.
Yard expressed that the callousness in dealing with the concerns, hardships, and economic difficulties experienced by the public sector workers is unfair. He noted that 3 months have elapsed since the union had received a correspondence from the Public Service Ministry's Permanent Secretary Haider Ali, indicating that it was engaging the Finance Ministry on the modalities regarding the issue of salary negotiations for public servants.
They said they were in discussions with the Ministry of Finance. That's 3 months ago. Do you think any minister of government would have accepted this form of conduct from a public servant? That they write for something and they say, look, I am at the moment looking at it, finalizing it, and 3 months after, you can't get no proper response? Not even a letter between the period to say, look, this thing is taking a bit longer than we anticipated. No respect, no courtesy. And this is not only the practice in this matter. This is the conduct with several other matters. You know, like if you have absolutely no regard or respect for people.
Yard said the organization will not continue to accept the lawlessness from government and will be seeking out supporters to take any form of action, including civil unrest, to bring an end to the abuse.
We have a constitution that guides us. And based on our constitution, we must notify the members, bring them up to date with where we are, and then we must meet in a constitutional forum, which is higher than the Executive Council level, the General Council level. And there we'll take a decision how to proceed. And that decision will be implemented.
For the Evening News, Alexis Rodney.
Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohey has called on the Ghana Police Force to improve its performance in order to effectively serve the country. Details in this story.
Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohey said that policing has become more challenging not only locally but around the world, hence the need for the Guyana Police Force to engage in more extensive training in order to make the ranks more efficient and effective in the performance of their duties. He pointed out that his ministry has been in the forefront of efforts to improve the standard of policing in Guyana.
You are all aware of the various programs and strategies my ministry has employed to improve the quality of the service delivery of the force to all the citizens of Guyana. However, in spite of the substantive inputs of my ministry, I am still witnessing slippages in the quality of performance by members of the organization.
Rohi noted that there is a need for the force to take steps to address the number of serious crimes that are still occurring. He further expressed his dismay at the fact that the crime rate in the country continues to climb while the number of solutions remains stagnant.
The number of robberies continue to soar in spite of the increase of allocation of vehicles to the force by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Thirdly, the amount of gun-related crimes that are being committed in the country is a source of great concern to the Ministry of Home Affairs. Steps must be taken by the force to take the guns off the streets. Criminals seem to have unfettered access to illegal firearms.
He added that his ministry is not oblivious to the need for the force's capacity to be strengthened. It was for this reason that he had gone to Cabinet and had received its approval to increase the force's capacity.
Meanwhile, Home Affairs Minister Clement Royi on Tuesday challenged the Guyana Police Force to be more proactive in restoring its marine branch in order to protect the country's waterways. The minister urged the police force to take the necessary steps in rehabilitating its ailing marine branch as he pledged his ministry's commitment to lead the way forward. Royi pointed to the recent discovery of the self-propellant semi-submersible vessel at a creek in the Winey River, Region 1. He said that this discovery within the country's territory is a direct indication of the need to intensify river patrols, particularly in the hinterland regions. He further highlighted that the country's fishermen have been suffering at the hands of pirates who have attacked, robbed and killed many of them. Despite such serious crimes, the Guyana Police Force still lacks the institutional capacity to respond to the reports of piracy and successfully investigate cases, Rohi said disappointingly. In this report, we hear that ranks from the various security agencies on Tuesday completed a training course on managerial skills.
Some 26 ranks from several security agencies participated in the Junior Officers Course number 25, which was held under the theme, Training with the Focus of Maximizing Visions, Skills and Art for Enhancing Leadership for a Modern Guyana Police Force. The training session ended on Tuesday when the participants received their certificates at the Police Training Center on Camp Road. Speaking at the closing ceremony, Home Affairs Minister Clement Royi told the ranks that exposure to such a course would enable them to function more effectively in their respective organizations.
Your dedication to duty could contribute to the reduction of crime in our country. The spin-off would be the creation of a better environment for investments and the subsequent creation of employment. You must view this training not only in terms of your personal development, but consider it as part of a plan to modernize the Guyana Police Force, to enable it to provide a better service to our communities. The main thrust of the force in the world today is the building of public confidence, trust, and creating partnerships with citizens and other stakeholders.
Meanwhile, Acting Police Commissioner Silal Prasad recalled that the Junior Officers Course was established to prepare ranks for leadership status within the organizations. He pointed out that participants would have gained a lot from the course.
Living together for 2 months or so and sitting in a classroom helps each individual to learn about the other organization, about the culture of the sister organization. It also develops a friendliness that will continue throughout our careers and even beyond. And therefore, in the type of collaboration that we have had in contemporary times, this augurs well for continuance. Because you have a squaddy in the sister organization, you have a point of contact that you could use in pursuit of your functions, of the functions of your office.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchan.
64-year-old Charles Goodluck formerly of Bestigrung, East Kanji, was committed to stand trial at the Berbice Assizes after Magistrate Rabindranath Singh ruled that a prima facie case had been made out for the offence of murder. The ruling was made during a special sitting at Albion Magistrates Court last week, where the murder accused stood motionless during the ruling. Goodluck, called Charlie, has been committed to stand a trial for the murder of Chandranath Hussain, called Dio, 39, of Good Banana Land, East Kanji, Berbice. It is alleged that on August 20, 2013, at the Bag Dam in Kokwani, the Berbice River, Goodluck killed Hussain. Police prosecutor Sergeant Philip Sheriff led witnesses who supported the prosecution's case, which revealed that on August 20, 2013, Goodluck murdered his colleague, a chainsaw operator, as they worked in the Bag Dam. In this report, you'll hear that the 1,000 turnkey home project initiated by the Ministry of Housing and Water has been yielding much success as authorities encourage citizens to take full advantage of the affordable offers. Alexis Rodney reports.
Director of Operations of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Dennis Tudor, during a tour of the Perseverance Housing Scheme on Monday, related that the housing project seeks to enable each Guyanese the opportunity to own their own home. Tudor said the ministry has already completed some 50 homes and is in the process of completing another 50.
Some time ago, we started the construction of 2-bedroom single flat houses in about 6 housing schemes. As a result of what we would have done in those areas, a number of persons indicated their interest in acquiring some of these turnkey homes. And so we decided that we're going to expand what we're doing. And here it is. In June last year, we launched the 1,000 homes pilot. And construction of the houses started on the 19th of May.
The homes, referred to as the Buttercup Cottage, sport 2 bedrooms and stand on 600 square feet of land. Tudor said the system in place allows persons to apply to the Central Housing and Planning Authority to acquire this type of housing solution. She noted that the Central Housing and Planning Authority would pre-qualify those individuals before they are forwarded to the New Building Society for further pre-qualification. The homes cost $4.9 million, $4.4 million for the house and $500,000 for the land. She noted that the project is currently employing about 400 persons, pointing out that it is an opportunity for all Guyanese.
What we have been doing, we had a visit like 2 weeks ago with the persons, the beneficiaries, and gave them an opportunity to see what we are doing in terms of the construction aspect of this project. So they're able to come and see what is happening.
You're watching the Evening News. More news after these messages. Thanks for staying with us. An increasing number of vulnerable groups and families will see themselves with new homes as Edward B. Bihari and Company agreed to continue a home drive with Habitat for Humanity Guyana. Details in this story.
Bihari Build, the name of the collaboration, will be able to construct more homes for vulnerable families with some $3.3 million. Raul Small, the National Director for Habitat for Humanity Guyana, said the partnership not only provides shelter for these families, but also provides new beginnings, security, empowerment, and improved livelihoods.
The other thing with housing as well, too, is when you actually give someone a home, what you're giving that person is basically a new beginning. And that home is also equity. So that home can be used to leverage financing if they want to start a business, if they want to reinvest in the home. So literally for every home that this partnership produces, a family has the value of that home to play with as equity. So that's what we really try to promote through this partnership, is breaking the cycle of poverty for the families that we support.
Anjulu Bihari Strand, the director of Edward B. Bihari, explains that the company saw this venture as a unique opportunity to give back to society. She said that the ability to own a home is something that should not be limited to just some sections of society.
Owning a home is not a privilege, it's a right. It's a right that every human being should have. They should have a roof over their head, somewhere to come home to where their children, they feel secure and safe, where they can grow and develop their lives and their families. And for us at Edward Bahari & Company, it's wonderful to be a part of this, and it's a partnership that we plan to continue for years to come.
Clive Richmond, a recent beneficiary of the generosity of Edward B. Bahari, expressed gratitude that this partnership was able to occur as he is handicapped and had no means for a home. Since the initiation of the Bahari Build partnership, $13 million has been raised. The money has gone towards the construction of homes.
Rose Hall Tongue will be hosting 2 weeks of activities to celebrate the Tongue's 44th anniversary. The activities will commence on September 14 and conclude on September 27. The Rose Hall Tongue Day Committee, in association with the Rose Hall Tongue Municipality, have organized the events under the theme Unity for a Better Community. Public Relations Officer Andrew Griffith told this newscast that the opening ceremony will be held on Friday, September 19 in the compound of the municipality, while in the evening there will be a candlelight vigil. On the following day, which is the anniversary day, there will be the much anticipated fair and exhibition at the Rose Hall Community Center. The celebrations will move to the Rose Hall Beach the following day, where several sporting activities have been planned, including beach volleyball. Svetlana Marshall joins us now to report that the U.S. Embassy's Charge d'Affaires Brian Hunt says that Guyana has made tremendous strides in the fight against HIV and AIDS, but renewed focus should be placed on the vulnerable population so as to sustain the gains and achievements made thus far.
Guyana, with the support of the United States President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, has made significant progress in controlling the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the HIV/AIDS seminar today at the Grand Coastal Hotel, U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires Brian Hunt said, Guyanese are now able to benefit from HIV counseling and testing from any part of the country. Additionally, he said there is improved access to treatment and support services.
To sustain the gains and achieve epidemic control, renewed focus is required for groups at elevated risk for sustained transmission, as identified in Guyana's own HIV/AIDS strategy documents. These include minors, loggers, migrant laborers, men who have sex with men, and sex workers. These vulnerable populations must be provided safe and supportive environments in which to obtain necessary HIV/AIDS-related services. As the primary point of access for such services, providers in both the private and public health systems must take proactive steps to ensure that their office environments are welcoming to all.
He said too the U.S. and the local health sector must continue to work to increase access to treatment for groups experiencing stigma and discrimination, whether actual or perceived.
The government of Guyana has taken initial steps to address this challenge with, among other strategies, sensitization training for providers. Over the next 2 days, we hope, through PEPFAR, to build on previous training programs and share evidence-based strategies for improving the quality of service delivery and uptake among these affected groups. In doing so, we hope that exchange of personal health information between patients and caregivers will improve, leading to better care and treatment results.
Present also at the seminar were National AIDS Program Secretariat Manager Dr. Shanti Singh, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Shamdeo Prasad, and CDC Guyana Country Director Dr. Grant Green. The 2-day seminar, which attracts health professionals from across Guyana, Jamaica, and the U.S., is being held under the theme Controlling the Epidemic and Achieving a Sustainable Response, Diversity and Sensitivity Training. Svetlana Marshall reporting for the Evening News.
A 20-year-old man was placed on $500,000 bail when he appeared before Magistrate Rabindranath Singh at the Wim Magistrates Court on Monday. Darshan Babulal of number 46 Village Quarantine was charged with causing death by dangerous driving. He was the driver of the 4x4 pickup truck that killed 52-year-old Roy D'Souza of Alness Village, Berbice. According to Prosecutor Sergeant Philip Scherf, on August 31, Babulal was driving vehicle GPP 8240 at a fast rate And while in the vicinity of Alness, he reportedly lost control of the vehicle and struck D'Souza, who died on the spot. The vehicle then turned turtle, jumping some 10 feet into the drain, hitting a mango tree. Babulal, along with his 17-year-old brother and a female friend, Priyanka Autar, were in the vehicle at the time of the accident. They all received serious injuries and were hospitalized. As World Suicide Prevention Day is being observed, stakeholders are calling for a multi-sectoral approach to curb this societal scourge.
The Caribbean Voice says a new and improved approach is needed to fight suicide in Guyana as the world celebrates Suicide Prevention Day 2014. At an interaction session held with local stakeholders, board member of TCV pointed out that suicide is most caused by alcoholism, poverty and depression. She noted that while there is not much being done by government, communities should step up and start playing a part in addressing the issue.
The people of Guyana has to drive the government to do what the people of Guyana desire to be done. We look at government for everything, but government is not everything. The people of Guyana have NGOs. Look to the NGOs, demand that the NGOs be provided the resources to be able to take care of the people in the community. The government is not in the community. They're not in every community. They have NGOs in the community, have people in the community. We in the community are responsible.
Meanwhile, local council and board member of TCV, Dr. Faith Hardin, said that Guyana was cited as the country with the worst record of suicide rates in the world, as she noted that suicide is the leading cause of death among young people.
Last year, or I think it was just a bit earlier when the study was done, Guyana was the highest in the Caribbean and the fourth in the world. Today we are the highest recorded nation, with suicide as the leading cause of death among youth. It is so serious that so many of us from around the world, including Guyana, have decided that we have to do something without it, regardless of whether the nation is supported by the government or political heads. We, the people of Guyana, abroad and at home, especially in the Caribbean, North America, and United Kingdom, Africa, will make a stand for the people of our nation.
Recently, the World Health Organization reported that suicide rates have dropped over the past 10 years to record 44.2 suicides per 100,000 persons per year. According to WHO report, most of the suicides in Guyana occur in regions 2 and 6 areas, that is Berbice and Essequibo. The International Day is being observed under the theme Suicide Prevention, One World Connected.
Your regional and international news are next. You're tuned to the Evening News. Welcome back. Thanks to staying with the Evening News. It's now time for a look at what's happening in the region. Economic sanctions against Cuba have cost the island nation $3.9 billion in foreign trade over the past year, helping to raise the overall estimate of economic damage to $116.8 billion over the past 55 years, Cuba said yesterday. The figures were published in a report that Cuba prepares for the United Nations every year in requesting a resolution urging an end to the comprehensive U.S. economic embargo and other sanctions against Cuba's communist government. The United Nations has passed a resolution for 22 straight years with overwhelming support. Last year, the vote was on 188-2, with only the United States and Israel voting against the resolution. Although many U.S. allies joined Washington in criticizing Cuba's one-party system and repression of political opponents, the Americans have lost nearly all international support for the embargo since the collapse of the Soviet Union. Now, internationally, Libya's National Defense Minister told the United Nations Security Council yesterday that the country's national existence is seriously threatened by the deadly Ebola virus that is spreading like wildfire and devouring everything in its path. The World Health Organization said on Monday that Liberia is worst hit by West Africa's Ebola epidemic and will likely see thousands of new cases in the coming weeks. More than 1,000 people have already died in Liberia. UN Special Envoy to Liberia, Karen Langorden, told the council that at least 160 Liberian health workers had contracted the disease and half of them died. It's now time for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge is expected to be closed from 5 hours on Thursday, September 11 for a period of 1.5 hours. The Berbice River Bridge will be closed from 5 hours 40 on Thursday, September 11 for a period of 1.5 hours. Join us on the other side of the break for your sport news. Welcome back. This is the Evening News Sport. It's now time for us to take a look at the headlines. Ramatar recommits the signing Cricket Administration Bill. Courts on board with Battle of the Contenders boxing card. Caribbean Wellness Day cycling set for Saturday. And Al Amin Hussein reported for suspected actions. Our sportscast is brought to you with the kind compliments of Macor.
Every day presents a few more challenges. Keeping your business running shouldn't be one of them. That's why we work every day towards ensuring your overall satisfaction. With over 100 skilled technicians and engineers equipped with the tools and skills to help you do more. With the largest parts inventory in Guyana, over 10,000 line items readily available. Driven by your success is not just a set of words to us. It is a code by which we live. That is why we are proud to say that we are
Welcome back. President Donald Ramatar has not yet signed the Guyana Cricket Administration Bill, but on Wednesday the head of state insisted that once it reaches his desk, the contentious bill will be signed into law. Rajiv Bisnot has details in this story.
The bill was passed in the National Assembly on May 15. However, a source from the Parliament office confirmed on June 9 that the bill was sent to the office of the President on June 4. But during an exclusive interview with this sportscast, President Ramatar said the bill has not yet reached his desk for approval.
It hasn't come to me. I've got to find out when it's going to come to me. But when it comes, I'm going to sign it. It probably is at my office, but it hasn't. They haven't brought it yet. Maybe because of the volume of all the things I have. But I'm going to definitely sign the bill.
The bill seeks to provide legal administrative guidelines for cricket, which over the years has become a national sport. The bill makes it legal for the Guyana Cricket Board to be established as a corporate body comprising the Demerara, Essequibo and Berbice Cricket Boards, all of which will also be made corporate entities. A section of the bill will address the issue of phantom voting for the election of persons for administrative positions. The bill also provides for better financial accountability. As such, the GCB under this new legislation will be required to present a timely audited financial reports to the National Assembly as well as the National Sports Commission.
Thanks, Rajiv. Bangladesh's fast bowler Al Amin Hussein is the latest international player to be reported for a suspect bowling action. The 24-year-old is the sixth bowler and the first non-off spinner to be reported by match officials since July. His action must be tested in the next 21 days at the International Cricket Council facility in either Cardiff or Brisbane. Hussein, who has played 4 test matches, can continue bowling until the results are known. The right arm has also played 9 one-day internationals and 9 T20s. Pakistan spinner Saeed Ajmal has been suspended after analysis showed that his arm bent more than the 15 degrees allowed. As part of activities to celebrate Caribbean Wellness Day 2014, the Ministry of Health will stage a 60-mile road race for active riders and those pursuing a healthy lifestyle. The race is being coordinated by national cycling coach Hassan Mohammed, who spoke with Avinash Ramzan earlier today.
Mohammed, who has close to 4 decades experience in organizing race meets, will lead the coordination effort for Saturday's race, which is expected to start at around 13 hours in Georgetown, proceed to Maikoni and return to the city for the finish. The race will take the form of a roll start to the Square of the Revolution, as Mohammed explains the rest of the route.
Turn right into Homestretch Avenue, just to the head of Mandela. Turn left in straight into Sheriff Street. Proceed along the Sheriff Street to the East Coast Highway, then turn right where the race officially will start. It will proceed from there, go through the old road in Micah, go to the halfway tree at Maikoni, return to Ocean View for the finish.
The veterans and mountain bikers will go through the old road at Mahaika and turn by the Mahaika police station on the upward journey before returning to Ocean View for the finish. According to Mohammed, plans are moving apace to ensure that the event is a success, as more than 50 riders are expected to compete.
We are hoping to have a very successful race, because for the longest while since the 3-state race was completed, we haven't done anything on the East Coast, and the people on the East Coast are starting some activity. It's Saturday, but I know the police can do their job, because we normally come down from Borbridge doing the 3-stage and the 5-stage. Either Saturday or Thursday when we have these races, and we don't foresee any problem.
Caribbean Wellness Day is an annual event geared at increasing awareness and promoting activities to address the epidemic of non-communicable diseases which continue to severely impact the health, economy and development of the region. In 2014, the focus is on adults preserving the workforce for national and regional development.
Coach Guyana Incorporated has once again demonstrated its commitment to the development of sport by chipping in with a sponsored package for this weekend's Battle of the Contenders boxing card. At a simple presentation ceremony on Wednesday morning, officials of the Coach Guyana branch presented executives of the Guyana Boxing Board of Control with a check value $300,000 to help with the staging of the 5-fight card. President of the Boxing Board, Peter Abdul, expressed appreciation to Coates for the gesture, noting that the company has been an avid supporter of the work of the Boxing Board. Marketing Manager Pernell Cummins said Coates always values the contribution of sport to national development, noting that the sponsorship is another demonstration of the company's commitment to the disciplines. Action will get underway at 20 hours on Saturday at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall, with the main bout featuring Guyanese Derek Richmond and Jamaican Shakaima Mullins. That has brought us to the end of the evening news for today, Wednesday, September 10, 2014. Please remember to get a copy of tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times for details of these stories and others. I'm Michael Young. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye.